Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today, I'm going to do another album review on an album released, made, produced, performed, recorded in Hong Kong, and simultaneously an album released this year. And of course, that would be the latest Mirror album, One and All. Mirror is a boy band from Hong Kong. They have been making music for a little while, but this album here is actually their debut album. And out of all the Hong Kong albums I have reviewed, this one is probably one of the most popular ones, because when Mirror actually popped off this year, everybody in Hong Kong, almost every single teenager was head over heels for this boy band. And I think partially it is because it really brings one pride when you see their own country also have a boy band, like how South Korea has a lot of boy bands, and even China and Japan have boy bands. But when you see your own country also have a boy band, it brings you some sense of pride. So I think that's partially why Mirror had become so successful so quick and with such a huge fan base in Hong Kong. But anyways, I've never been a fan of boy bands, let alone a boy band from Hong Kong. So, okay, are you gonna... let alone a boy band from Hong Kong. And going to the album, I really didn't expect anything interesting. Also, given my impression of music from Hong Kong, especially Cantopop music, is usually the most generic and most bland form of music you can ever find, ever, where essentially we have a dramatic ballad with lovesick lyrics, some guitars, some pianos, slowly, gradually reaches a climax at the end, and very melodramatic vocals, and that's pretty much your formula for every Cantopop song to ever exist. So going into the album, I was indeed a little bit worried, but after listening to the album, I must say, it's not as bad as I thought it is. It's actually not that bad. But that being said though, there are still a lot of glaring flaws in the album. So essentially, Mirror's debut album has 21 tracks, and it's separated into two CDs. The first CD has 6 songs. 6 songs where all the members sing together. And then the second CD has 15 songs, where essentially it is 5 of the 12 boy band member with their songs, and it's 3 songs per. So it's 15, because 5 members, 3 songs per, 5 times 3, 15. So altogether, 8 plus 6 plus 15, you get 21. That's why there are 21 tracks on the album. So I'm just gonna start off with CD 1, where the entire band sings together. The album opens off with Yat Miu Gan, which is basically in 1 second, and surprisingly, it is a pretty heartwarming guitar jam sing-along, even though the mixing is kinda rough around the edges at times, and the vocals are pretty meh. It does, at some point, sounds like a high school choir, except everyone in the choir are grown-up boys. But still, it is pretty heartwarming, pretty fun, and nothing all that bland or uninspiring. You know, it's got a life of its own. And then we have the track ASAP, where the music begins to dumb down as expected. The instrumentals are very low-key. We get these hand clap beats, a light trap beat, and the songwriting itself is just kind of mediocre, kind of mild, not really all that interesting or anything. Things get even worse on the next track, Pole Gang, which basically means Broken Mirror. And we have these low-key synths, and the mixing is just awful on this track. It's just kind of clunky and not putting the instrumentals together all that well. But what really made this song probably my least favorite song on the entire album is the extremely hideous and goofy rap verse at the end. I don't know why, but there aren't a lot of rappers in Hong Kong, and most of the rappers in Hong Kong does this "yo, I'm so cool, yo" kind of thing, and it's just so goofy. Next up, we have the track Reflection, which is straight up a 1-to-1 ripoff of your average K-pop boy band songs, with the very overproduced loud booms, very sugar-coated and bloated singing and melodies. It's not really all that great. And then we have the song Ignited, which is probably one of my favorites on the entire album, where the band essentially tries to do this 80s Prince-ish funk thing, and it's a playful song. It's a lot of fun. Sure, the mixing could have needed more work, the singing could have needed more work, but I think overall it is a pretty fun song, and definitely a highlight in the album for me. And then we have the title track, where essentially the entire boy band comes together in a very wholesome all-star ballad. And while that seems like a really cool idea to end off the first part of the album, I think that songs like this I've already listened to like a million times, so it's nothing all that groundbreaking or creative, kinda within your average music wheelhouse, I guess. And then we have CD2, where 5 band members each offer 3 songs, so 15 in total. The first 3 songs belong to the one and only, the legendary, the most popular man in Hong Kong in the year 2020, Keung To, or in English, Keung To. And boy, does he have so many fangirls, and boy is it annoying. But yeah, he provides 3 love songs. 蒙著嘴說愛你, which basically means saying I love you while covering my mouth. The second song is 孤獨病, which is like lonely sickness. The third song is愛情簽證申請, which basically means like romance license application. And I'm gonna have to be honest here, these 3 songs are probably the worst 3 songs in the entire second half of the album. I'm gonna be honest here, Keung To is just too overhyped. His singing is not really that good. He has a pretty low register voice, his voice is pretty deep, and when he tries to sing in a very flowery way, it just doesn't really work all that much for him. The mixing is kinda rough as well, and the last track of the 3, 愛情簽證申請, sounds kinda derivative of another pop song. I forgot which one was it, but I'm pretty sure I've heard this melody somewhere else. And yeah, unfortunately these 3 tracks are just kinda meh. And then the next 3 tracks belong to Chen Yin, aka Ian Chan, and these 3 tracks are 正式開始, 鯨落, and 背叛. 正式開始 is officially begin. The second track, 鯨落, is a pretty weird song title, but it's king is like king yu, whale, and log is like down, so whale down, like a whale drowning. And then the third track is bui bun, but it's kind of like a play on words. Bui bun means betrayal, but it is written in a way it also simultaneously means carrying someone, being with someone. And I'm gonna say here, Ian Chan's songs are slightly better than the ones from Keung To. The mixing is a little bit better, slightly better. The track Official Beginning has these light keyboards that are very cutesy and nice, and the second track, King Long, actually features a pretty nice chord progression. And even though it is your average Cantopop dramatic ballad with a pretty average and mundane chord progression, at least it does start off really strongly. And then we have the third set of songs from Gong Bao Seng. I highly doubt that this is his real name, but Gong Bao Seng. Yeah, Anson Kong. And the three songs are Đặc Tăng, Wong Ngầu, and Câm Sắc Lưỡi Hải. Đặc Tăng means intentional, Wong Ngầu means snail, and Câm Sắc Lưỡi Hải means Venus girl. And I must say, the track Đặc Tăng, intentional, is one of my favorites on the entire album. I really love the very bright, sort of sunburnt synths. It's very poppy, it's very flavorful, and the singing definitely helps exceed those synths and make them pop out even more. And we also have the track Wong Ngầu, and given that it is the dramatic ballad of the three, of course, it's the most popular of the three as well, because people in Hong Kong love dramatic ballads. But it's not that bad, you know, it still feels a little bit more updated than some of the old-timey ones. And then we have the track Câm Sắc Lưỡi Hải, which is also not bad, not great either, kind of average. And then the next three tracks belongs to Lo Hon Ting, aka Anson Lo. And I must say, these three tracks are probably my favorite ones on the entire album. They are easily the most competent, the most creative, the most flavorful, and very freaking hype. The first track is 一所懸命, which basically kind of means like one life, like you have one life left. Like, so, you know, you only live once, and damn, this song slaps. This song slaps like a bitch. The blaring horns on this thing, the loud booming beats, and sure, it does feel a little K-poppy, but it almost kind of goes beyond that. It's just so hype. The performances are there. It's very passionate, and it's easily my favorite song on the entire album. And then we have Burnout, and yeah, it's fine. The production is also kind of nice, and it also features some nice performances. I don't know why, but for each of these artists, I suspect that the producers for each of them are different, because the Anson Lo songs are mixed kind of differently, but Burnout is mixed okay, it's mixed fine, but there is a rap verse at the end, which is a little bit goofy, but not as worse as the one earlier. And we have the track Gok Lok Sang Mut, which basically means like a cornered animal, and it's a low-key love song, nothing all that special. And then the album ends off with three tracks from Zhi Lao, or Lo Ying Ting. And Lo Ying Ting. Anyways, the three songs are 水形物語, 迴光物語, and 風靈物語, which are easily three of the most interesting song titles in the entire album. 物語 is basically the Cantonese way of saying monogatari, which is a Japanese word for story, and 水形 means water punishment. 迴光 is like, I don't even know exactly what it means, but it's a kind of light, and 風靈 basically means like wind spirit, so very interesting sounding. And these three songs are actually three dramatic ballads, so actually not that special. However, I do enjoy the expressive vocals, and the second track, 迴光物語, actually features these swooshes and bangs, which does sound a little bit annoying at first, but I appreciate the fact that he's trying to put some more interesting sound plays into the song itself. So, yeah, there goes my opinion on this album. It's far from perfect. There are a lot of songs on the album which are very mundane, very uninspired, and very average. But there are also highlights in the album, especially Anson Lo's songs. His songs are my favorites on the entire album. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, it's only their debut album. They still have time to develop their style and production quality. So, Mirror, one and all, strong 5 to a light 6 out of 10. My favorite song here is 一所懸命. by Anson Lo, and my least favorite is Paul Gang, Broken Mirror. So, have you listened to the latest Mirror album for One to 10? Rate it, like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.